You got in your car this morning and moved 40 miles an hour without using one muscle. 100,000 years ago, that same trip would have taken 2 full days of walking barefoot. No road, no path, no sign telling you what was waiting ahead in the wilderness. For almost all of human history, getting anywhere meant risking absolutely everything you had. You had nothing to carry you there, except your own 2 bare feet on the ground. Today, you can fly across the entire planet in a single day without thinking twice. Movement is so easy now that it has basically become completely invisible to us. But for roughly 300,000 years, every journey happened only at walking speed. That one limitation shaped everything about how we lived, ate, and who we married. So let us start at the very beginning with your own 2 feet. Humans are the best long-distance walkers on the planet, but definitely not the fastest. A cheetah can hit 70 miles an hour, while a horse sustains 30 for miles. You top out at maybe 15, and only for a few seconds before gasping for air. Speed was never the actual point of human movement at all, though. You can walk 20 miles in a day, sleep, and do it again tomorrow. You can do this for weeks straight. No other animal on Earth can manage that. Your feet have arches that act exactly like natural springs with every single step. Your Achilles tendon stores and releases energy so your muscles never carry the full load. A ligament running up your neck keeps your head stable while your body moves underneath. You have about 2 million sweat glands cooling you while other mammals simply overheat. You are not built to be fast. You are built to never stop moving at all. In 1978, Mary Leakey discovered footprints pressed into volcanic ash in Tanzania. 2 individuals walking upright side by side 3.6 million years ago exactly. The oldest evidence of bipedal walking ever found, and they look almost exactly like yours. For millions of years, that was the only transportation technology humans ever possessed at all, and somehow it was enough to take humans further than any other species ever went. Starting roughly 70,000 years ago, humans began walking slowly out of Africa entirely. Not in one single march, this happened generation by generation over thousands of years. Small groups pushing a little further into territory no human had ever seen before. They crossed the Middle East, spread across Asia, and eventually reached Europe completely. They walked into Siberia, crossed a land bridge into Alaska, and kept going south. That is, roughly 15,000 miles, without even knowing the destination existed at all. And the thing that does not get talked about enough is they were not wandering randomly. Archaeologists found obsidian tools hundreds of miles from the nearest volcanic source location. Shells found far inland and amber, traded across entire mountain ranges, show clear purpose. These people covered massive distances on purpose to trade and connect with other groups, to find specific resources they knew existed because someone had told them about it. This was not wandering at all. This was networking on foot across continents. The problem is, walking works great until something gets directly in the way completely. You can walk across a desert, you can walk over a mountain, but a river stops you. And rivers were absolutely everywhere, cutting through every migration route and hunting ground. For hundreds of thousands of years, a body of water was basically an impassable wall. You either found a shallow crossing, or you simply turned around and went elsewhere. And then somehow humans figured out something no other land animal has ever done. How to cross water on purpose deliberately, not by accident or pure luck. In 2003, archaeologists found stone tools on Flores Island in Indonesia, dating back roughly 800,000 years, but Flores was never connected to mainland. Even during the lowest sea levels, there was always 12 miles of open ocean, which means one undeniable thing: someone deliberately made that dangerous ocean crossing. We do not know what they used wood rots, and bamboo simply decomposes completely. Whatever they floated on is long gone, but the tools prove the crossing happened. The first boats were probably nothing, a fallen log or bundle of tied reeds. Not designed at all, simply discovered by accident during an ordinary river crossing. Someone grabbed a floating log to cross a stream and simply did not drown. That accidental moment was the breakthrough, but what happened next was completely deliberate. Around 65,000 years ago, humans crossed from Southeast Asia into Australia. That crossing meant sailing at least 60 miles of completely open, dangerous ocean. You cannot see Australia from the other side. You cannot drift there by accident. Someone built something that could float, pointed it toward invisible water, and paddled forward. Think about that for a second. They left solid ground with absolutely no certainty. No idea if there was anything at all waiting on the other side, ever. The oldest boat ever found is the Pesse canoe from the Netherlands, 10,000 years old. Just a simple hollowed-out log, but the technology goes back far further than that. People were already living on islands. They had no way of reaching on foot. Tens of thousands of years before that particular canoe was ever even carved. And then the Polynesians did something that sounds genuinely insane to consider today. Starting around 3,000 years ago, they crossed the largest body of water on Earth. They built double-hulled canoes loaded with food, animals, and entire families together. They sailed thousands of miles, reading nothing but the stars and ocean swells, the direction birds flew and the color of clouds gathering near distant land. No compass, no map, just observations so precise they still impress modern navigators today. They reached Hawaii, Easter Island, New Zealand, every habitable island across the Pacific. Some voyages covered over 2,500 miles of open water, completely alone. Walking conquered land and boats conquered water, but one problem remained unsolved entirely. You can walk 20 miles, but not while carrying a 200-pound animal. For most of human history, the limit on transportation was not distance, it was weight. You could only move what your own body could physically carry alone, completely. Your body can handle maybe 40 to 60 pounds before it starts breaking down. So humans started cheating. The first thing they tried was simply dragging things. Kill something big, throw it on a hide, and drag it all the way back to camp. Archaeologists found wear marks on ancient hides, only appearing from long-distance dragging. Then someone had a much better idea, entirely the invention of the travois. 2 long poles tied together in a V shape with a platform slung between them. You drag the narrow end, while the wide end carries the entire heavy load. It spread the weight out. One person could suddenly move 100 pounds or more. The travois might be one of the oldest tools humans ever used for moving things, but it was made of wood and leather, so almost none of them survived time. We only know it existed because people still used it when Europeans arrived later. But the real breakthrough in moving weight was not something you could build at all. It was something you could befriend, instead a living creature you could partner with. Around 15,000 years ago, humans domesticated dogs, the very first animal partnership. One of the first jobs given to dogs was hauling heavy weight across long distances. In the Arctic, dogs pulled sleds across endless ice and deep snow constantly. A single dog could move about 45 pounds of weight on its own. A team of 6 dogs could carry an entire family's full camp together easily. But dogs were small humans, needed something significantly bigger and stronger than that. About 5,500 years ago, on the steppes of modern Kazakhstan, humans figured out the horse. We know this because of a group called the bowtie. Archaeologists found wear marks on horse teeth from bits placed in their mouths. They found mare's milk baked permanently into ancient pottery from that exact period. These were not people who simply hunted horses for meat and survival alone. They rode them, milked them, and built their entire lives completely around them. And the horse changed absolutely everything about human movement, forever and completely. For 300,000 years, the fastest a human could travel was 4 miles an hour. On a horse, you could suddenly hit 30 miles an hour with ease. In a single generation, the entire human world got 8 times smaller overnight. Suddenly, you could cover in days what used to take several full weeks. Messages moved faster, trade routes stretched further, and warfare changed forever, completely. An army on horseback could reach you before you even knew they were coming. Donkeys hauled goods through deserts, while camels made it across the entire Sahara. Reindeer dragged sleds through Arctic snow, while llamas carried cargo over the Andes. Wherever humans showed up, they found whatever animal fit and put it straight to work. But humans were not done yet. One more major invention was still coming, and it took an absurdly long time to actually show up in human history. Humans crossed every single ocean on Earth before anyone ever invented the wheel. The oldest known wheel turned up in the Ljubljana marshes of Slovenia, 5,000 years old. Boats go back at least 10,000 years, and probably far further than that. The wheel was one of the very last major transportation inventions, not the first one. And it did not even start out as transportation at all originally. The first wheels were used for pottery, a spinning disc designed to shape clay. At some point, somebody looked at that disc and simply turned it on its side. Around 2000 BC, someone figured out the spoked wheel lighter and stronger. And now you finally had chariots combining real speed and cargo at the same time. The wheel, the horse, and the road together built every civilization you have ever heard of. Every highway and airport on this planet exists because someone once looked at the horizon and started walking.